Welcome back to the show. I wanted to go over this video that I've been seeing a series of videos. My cousin has actually done business with a jeweler out of New York named TraxNYC. One thing that you have to understand about us business owners, entrepreneurs, etc., branding is everything. But the way you build your brand is through trust, through consistency, and also through having a good name with your customers. So there is nothing more dangerous or offensive or that will trigger you than someone pretty much taking your IP, putting their name on it, but then providing a lower quality product. Remember the movie with Denzel Washington, American Gangster? Remember when he found out that the guy that Cuba Gooding Jr. played was literally calling a chopped up, diluted product Blue Magic? And he was like, Blue Magic is a brand. Just because you buy it doesn't mean you can change it and still call it Blue Magic because it's inferior quality and it's hurting my name. I am a business owner. All I have is my reputation. I'm a man. All I have is my word. If I break my word and I break my bond, no one's going to want to work with me. You're trying to deliberately sabotage my company. I feed my family with this company. I support myself. You're trying to destroy me. This is war. So when people were saying, what do you think? Should he have been this upset? He could have been worse, but he was strategic. He knew as long as he didn't touch anyone, he was going to have the high ground. And all he had to do was provoke them enough to attack him, which he did. And he landed on his feet. So let's go ahead and take a watch and see how it got to that point.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I understand that is one hell of an introduction to this video, but I just gotta say, I respect this man by the name of TraxNYC for actually visiting, apparently, this third-party dealer that was pretending to be him under his brand name, when in reality, it was not him, but this guy on the right-hand side owns this, I suppose, jewelry/diamond kiosk, which he used to scam one of TraxNYC's customers. And basically, this is him going into this guy's office area and confronting him. I mean, I gotta say, yo, shout out to Trax for being an upstanding businessman and business owner who actually cares about his customers. And ladies and gentlemen, this story gets so bad to the point to where this man started getting jumped for trying to defend his customer and trying to get this customer's money back. I mean, it actually gets crazy. According to Feared Buck, they say TraxNYC gets jumped after confronting a jewelry company of scamming his own customer by selling a 10-karat white gold bracelet and using TraxNYC's name. I mean, it's just crazy. As you can see, Trax is actually confronting the man here. But before we go even deeper into this commotion, I want to show you guys the backstory of all this.
So not only did these fucking pieces of shit, okay, rip you off on this fucking thing, it turned out to be 9-karat gold, right? You had a check? Yeah. So they're going to be giving you $1,000 on top. Here's $22,000 for your fucking trouble. These fucking bum motherfuckers, bro. You get people in this exchange, people in this. Stop being greedy pieces of fucking lying shit. So I'm Trax. I want this coming up on a team every time.
Now, I just got to say, this guy genuinely looks angry. I don't know if this is a skit or not. I don't think it's a skit because he's actually damaging property and this could be potentially a felony charge.
The thing is this, though. If the customer is actually one of Trax's customers, then why did he go behind Trax's back to buy jewelry instead of directly going to Trax? Now, if any of you are familiar with Trax, he's probably the most vocal and most frontward-facing jeweler in America. The man literally does videos where he gives away prizes. He does man on the street. He's constantly on social media putting his brand out there. Why did this guy go to another jeweler, even if it had the same name? Why didn't he just go through Trax Direct? What I think is that the guy was trying to be slick, went behind Trax's back. He found out that they ate his food, and because there was no recourse, sales are final, he ended up hitting up Trax, who, I'll be honest with you, I respect what Trax is doing, but the truth is it's fucking unnecessary because Trax didn't sell this idiot that fucking bracelet. He didn't. So Trax giving this guy money out of his pocket is not because he was obligated to or to save his brand. This is where it becomes it's on the line of a hoax, of a staged promotional hoax, which is why, and I think that this is not his first encounter with this other jeweler. It boiled over, other things are going on, but this isn't about a discrepancy like this. For one thing, Trax should have said, look at the receipt. You didn't buy this from me, buddy. Think about it. People buy products that are made in China, but you think come from an American distributor. But you purposely went to Alibaba to find someone that copied an American brand because you wanted to get it for half price. If it gets to you in America, finally, after it goes through customs, and it's a piece of shit replica, you can't go to the company that they copied off of and file a complaint and ask for a refund. You didn't pay them. You didn't. There's another company that they offer similar services to me. You would not believe how many emails I get. I have people that have left bad reviews for my company saying, yeah, they never answer the phone. We sent them $39.99. I said to people, we don't have anything for that price. We don't offer any of those services. But there's a company that literally has a similar name, or maybe they're using my information, our brand or our concept, and they're scamming people around. We don't know, but you did not pay us directly. Look at your receipt. We don't know you. Trax could have done the same thing. He purposely gave this guy money out of his pocket. He put it on video, and when he confronted those guys, there were cameras behind him, cameras in front of him. It looked like they were literally staging a music video shoot. He could have screamed at that guy, or they both could have started battle rap, and it could have went either way. So let's understand that did Trax, not to say this, I respect them because, to be honest, at least somebody who's this passionate about people scamming others, at least he's not going to play you on your jewelry. He's not going to half-ass you or screw you over on the price. At least he's trustworthy because he just put himself out there for the world in the beginning of the year. So I trust him for that. But was this exaggerated and staged? Absolutely. Completely unprofessional. And he works with all of these different jewelers. But he feels like now he's bigger than them because he promotes himself on social media for years. He technically is the biggest. And he just literally drew a line in the sand, and he made a mark of the only other people that probably could have crossed him. All the other people are just regular jewelers. That's just what they do. They get over on the public. Yes, they used his name, but he was not liable. He wasn't. He didn't serve. And he could say, look, you didn't buy this from me. You went around me. You found another Trax dealer that you knew wasn't me, but they offered you a cheaper price for an inferior product, but you thought you were getting over on me. You didn't want to pay my premium price. So you got screwed. Tough titty. Better luck next time. Maybe stay loyal to the man you've been working with all these years. But he tried to go around Trax and got played. Trax gave this guy his money back and made this a videotape. And the guy was caught off guard when Trax ran up to him, but the cameras were already in place. This was staged. This was wonderfully staged. And I'm surprised. I'm going through all these videos and nobody's pointing all of this out. And that's why I make content. I kind of see the nuance that everyone else misses. Not saying that it's a complete scam. I'm saying that it's a hoax, except the other party, those guys weren't in on it. Trax just knew they would take the bait eventually. That's why even after they took him out of there the first time, he returned and he got spit in the face the second time. The first time he was able to get away. But let's go ahead. I don't want to take away from the story.
Depending on how much damage he does, but he's rich as hell. I don't think he really cares. That said, though, based off of what I'm seeing here by this commenter by the name of Corey K, and Trax actually liked this.
Superfly, even if he was in a hurry, whatever excuse you make for the customer, that's still the customer who's an adult grown ass man. That is a oversight on his end that must be addressed by him. He has to be responsible for it ultimately. You cannot blame somebody else for you falling for a scam, especially another party that was not even privy. Trax wasn't even involved in it. He could look at the address. You knew that you were not dealing directly with Trax. Trax is the kind of guy you can fucking call him. My cousin who bought plenty of jewelry from him has his personal number. You can call him. Trax is one of those people. He's personable. That's why he's on the internet all day. And everyone is literally dealing with them. What Trax just did was he destroyed that other company's credibility in business. Now, all of their previous customers belong to Trax now. He won.
Comment as well. He said, it's not his store. He mentioned the company. It's called Akay Diamonds, I think.
No. He absolutely set it up, because when we're going to go back to the video, you're going to see there's cameras. There's multiple cameras in front and there's cameras behind him recording. The only people who weren't in on this setup were the two guys in that jury booth that he confronted. They weren't a part of it. But everyone, but the cameras and stuff, he staged it. He just knew they would eventually take the bait. Because of course we're men. We're prideful. You can't get in my face and call me a bitch and call me a thief in my business. I'm literally competing with the people to my right, to my left, across and behind, competing with for them for the customers that are coming in and looking for jewelry. We're all in competition. You're going to publicly embarrass me, and you have a platform. Trax could have literally just came out, made a video explaining this, and literally just badmouth these guys. He didn't have to go do this. This was all extremely unnecessary, over the top, but it was for a reason. It's not like he just went in there with no camera, one deep. He went in there with a whole production team. That's why we have all these different angles. So yeah, it was absolutely staged, 100%.
In New York, sounds like they shorted Max's client on gold or diamonds, possibly both, and used the TraxNYC brand to sell it.
50 was suing him because Trax copied a piece of jewelry that 50 Cent was wearing, except 50 Cent had that piece of jewelry custom made. So I don't think you can trademark a custom piece of jewelry. The only thing you could have sued him for is if he claimed that this was an exact replica from the same person who made his jewelry. In that case, that's fraud, because it's not. But I don't think you can't trade. Like, it's like, say I'll buy a black jacket and I put a logo on it. Somebody in another country or somebody in our country could make the same jacket, put a logo on it, and sell it. I don't think you can trademark branding. You can I guess with logos, etc., you can trademark that and you can protect it only to a point. If it's made in China, there's nothing you can do. So that's why he was suing 50. 50 couldn't get money out of him, but I guess he got an apology. But I don't think that he didn't have to pay him.
Which, if true, is scummy. That is some snake like brother in Christ. People are already struggling out here as it is. Why are you trying to scam innocent people? And Trax, literally, if you missed it, literally just had to give this man $22,000.
If the problem is this, if TraxNYC, if there's a space between the NY and the C, or a dash or a hyphen or a period, you can literally just smudge the name just a little bit and you're in compliance, and you're not necessarily using the exact same name. It's really hard to protect your intellectual property. Anybody can come along, copy exactly what you're doing, and compete with you with their service. The only difference is, well, if your sauce makes you special, you're going to win. Also, if you're best dressed and first in line, but there's really no way to stop anybody from competing against you legally. Nobody can say, I'm going to be the sole jewelry manufacturer of the world, and no one else can make jewelry because I make jewelry. You can't do that. You are not a Highlander. Okay. That's not how this works. It can be only one. It's not a real thing. Anybody can do it. So what these guys were doing, I think Trax just basically made a big deal out of it, but it's what they all do. They could have, but the thing is, Trax could have, if he knew they were using his name before, did he try to get them to stop? Or are they just using similar names? Whatever the case may be, these guys, we never heard their responses. All we saw was him dominate the entire conversation, which was strategic. It was on purpose. None of this was meant for them to have a rebuttal or reply, and he knew eventually they would take the bait. They sold their product for the price they saw fit. He wants to do, sell more for less. Some people want to sell less for more. You can't tell them how to do business and vice versa. I'll be honest. None of this is this is all absolutely staged, 100%. Or he'd be trying to rub and fight everybody, and he didn't.
You said 1,000 on top. So originally, I guess the guy paid $21,000 for some shitty ass 10-carat diamond bracelet that was worth nowhere near that value. So he's right to be pissed.
He's scheming, bro. 9 carat this, 2 carat that, this, that.
See, now, if you listen to what he's saying, he said, quit scheming, not stealing. It's up to the jeweler on how much they're going to sell a carat of gold for. Some jewelers are going to want a higher premium because of his name. If you're Jacob the jeweler, you're going to say, hey, because I'm Jacob and I'm famous, you're going to pay $10 for an ounce of jewelry, for an ounce of gold. But the gold might only be worth $2 an ounce. But because of the name attached to it, you're going to pay more. That's what people do. People pay for the brand. Did you know they make iPhones that are only like $60 that you can buy that are pretty much the exact same as the one that are branded by Apple? Maybe small little software differences, but it's essentially the same phone. But you're paying for the brand. You're paying the premium for the brand. So in his opinion, these people should be selling the gold for a cheaper price like he does. The problem is they're not making up for it in quantity because they don't have the face of being on the internet and talking to people all day and making themselves known and having a big brand. They're just regular people. This might have been their, and people in this industry, this was what their parents did and their grandparents did, and they brought this over from where they're from. This isn't like something that you just decide to just randomly hop into. This is something that's a trade. The whole adding the internet angle into it, that's not for everybody. Even doing what I'm doing, sitting here, talking to a camera with a microphone in your face, hoping that people are going to understand you and be clear, it's not for everybody. So what Trax is doing is he made himself a bigger brand. So yes, he can bully and push people around and tell them what they should do and what they need to do. And if they don't, he's hoping people are going to say, well, let me go to Trax because I trust him more. And that's all this was. This was a big staged event. He knew they were going to take the bait because, again, he knew these guys had a similar name as him. He accused them of using his name. But they're like, bro, what do you mean? This is our name too. We are also in NYC. My father's name is Trax. You can't just tell them that this is your name only. You know how many people have the same name? You know how many people have the same business name? You can't just say this is my name and only person that can use it is me. It's up to the customer to know who he's dealing with. The customer went around Trax's back. I know these fucking people. I deal with them in business. They wanted a cheaper product. They wanted the same product for cheaper. I understand it. That's business. But guess what? The other people got over on them and ate their food. But there's no recourse. Or the guy could have went back and said, hey, I want a refund. They're going to say, why? Is it broken? So I say, no, but you sold it to me for this price, but I checked it and it wasn't 14 grams of gold. It was only 9. So this, but they're like, look, all sales are final. We weighed everything out. You signed off on it. You bought it. You can't bring it back. He goes to Trax that had nothing to do with the transaction. Trax saw an opportunity to go ahead and make a big deal out of this and get some views. And I'll be honest, this was one of the most successful staged confrontations that I've seen in a long time.
31, bro. bullshit, bro. Stop stealing. You gotta come up. I want my fucking money, mother.
Now, you can't give somebody a fucking refund and then go to the person who sold them the product that you had nothing to do with, and you voluntarily refunded this person, and then tell those people, I want my money back from you. Trax, they didn't sell you nothing. The only person that could have had a case for a refund from that jeweler is the customer. You cannot transfer the liability over to yourself and then go back in lieu of this customer. They have no agreement with you. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Trax goes to him and wants his money back. They did no business with Trax. They did business with the customer. Trax voluntarily not only gave him back a refund, but put $1,000 on top of it. Another reason why I think it's staged is because the guy seemed a little bit too happy to get that money in his hands, and he seemed kind of poor. And I'm like, well, if you're already spending 20K, you wouldn't be smiling about getting 21K. I wouldn't smile. I'd be like, yeah, this is like the least you could do. Like, I'd still be a little frustrated. And then he was doing all the talking for the customer. The customer wasn't really saying it. It seemed like he was guiding the customer on the few things that he did say. You cannot come back to me and say, well, I bought this back from another customer and you owe me a refund for it because you overcharged him. That's not how it works. You don't get to come to me and dictate to me, a private business owner, and tell me what my prices are going to be. If I want to go out onto the streets, find a piece of dog shit and wrap it in gold paper and say, I'm selling this custom wrapped piece of dog shit for $25 million, nobody can come into my shop and say, hey, I'm selling dog shit for $19. You are overcharging. You owe me money because somebody else. You can't. That's not how it works. I decide my prices. I decide what works. You don't get to tell me what the value of my product is. If I make a deal with a customer and he goes somewhere else and they say, oh man, I could have got it from somewhere else cheaper. Well, then you should have went there in the first place. You don't come back to me and think I'm going to give you a full refund so you can now go up because you did your research after the fact. All sales are final. You can't be finicky like that. In this situation, though it seems like Trax is standing on business, technically he's in the wrong. So understand that. Yeah, it seems like he's fighting for the good of the customer, but he's dead fucking wrong. I hope people who are listening to me understand that. He's wrong. The customer should have been there making a fuss. Trax, that's not Trax's place to do so. Just because him and the other business have a similar name. The other business has a similar name. You could have been sued them and had them change their name if that was the case. Two competing jewelers with the same name, that's confusing, right? If Trax had a legal recourse to do so, he would have took it long ago. It wouldn't have taken to today with some guy coming in with a sob story about another jeweler that he bought jewelry from. He didn't buy it from Trax. Trax did not owe him a refund. Trax voluntarily gave him one. Trax, that's your problem. That's your business. You don't come to me and tell me what my return policy should be. That's your business. You want to buy that guy's jewelry back? Have at it.
Motherfuckers, bro. I gave the money up. You want to be TraxNYC? You're TraxNYC. Akay, garbage. You motherfuckers are garbage.
So basically, Trax went out of his way to help his customer out, gave him his 21K plus the 1K on top, 22,000 out of his own.
You see that smile when he gave him 1K? If you just got ripped off 20K and you get an extra 1,000 on top, you're not going to really be sitting there smiling. You still got played. Even though you got your money back, you're an idiot. You're a dimwit. You were able to get tricked. It's not nothing to be proud of. You got played. Some other man had to come save your ass. That's not nothing you should really be proud of or bragging about, or you wouldn't be very excited about that. That's why I said this seems staged and it doesn't seem organic. Well, it's absolutely staged, but it doesn't seem organic.
Pocket. And I guess he plans on getting his money, right? The money back that Trax gave him back from the actual jewelers who scammed this guy. And I just got to say, first of all, the diamond industry is already a scam.
The whole industry is a scam. They didn't scam the guy. That's not what that is. You dictate your own price. Just because somebody else sells it for cheaper doesn't mean I'm scamming you. Or it doesn't. Think about it, if you go buy a car that's used. One lot might sell it for 15,000. One lot might want 18,000 based, and it could be all based on location. Just because you buy a car a little bit more expensive than somebody else that was selling it, it doesn't mean the people that sold it over here scammed you. That's not what it means. It just means you bought it for a different price. A scam is when someone takes your money and there is no car, or there are no children, and you're a Somalian, and we gave you millions from our tax money. That's a scam. Not when you got a product, but then you're like, oh man, I know somebody else that got it for cheaper. Then why you didn't go there first? My question is, why'd you go around Trax to begin with? Why didn't you just go to Trax directly? Why? Because you were trying to get over. You know how many times people have done this to me and went around me, lost their money, got ripped off, had to come back to me, and then end up paying double? But every time people do that and they come back to me with a sob story, I tell them the same things Fat Joe told me. Yesterday's price is not today's price. I'm going to put a premium on there because I know what you did. You got beat. You're going to have to come back to me anyway. So because of that, I feel zero sympathy for you. But what Trax did was he turned this into an opportunity for marketing himself, which he did masterfully. Unfortunately, I don't have an emotional bias, being that I'm a Capricorn. I see everything in black and white. I have no feelings about anything. I only can think about stuff. I don't feel anything. So that's why removing emotions, I can just tell you technically Trax is in the wrong here. And I was able to explain to you how and why.
In and of itself, diamonds are not rare. They're in abundance. They're just monopolized by specific companies on this planet. Secondly, I mean, the diamond industry is just full of scammers and fraudsters who try to swindle ignorant customers.
He did not do this to clear his name. His name wasn't dirty. Remember, the person knew who he bought this bracelet from. He didn't buy it from Trax directly. That's like somebody saying, hey, I found a TraxNYC in China. I sent them money. They sent me a bracelet made out of gummy bears. And I thought I bought VVS's. And then you take the gummy bear bracelet to TraxNYC, and he's like, it's fucking Chinese. These China people, every day, karate and bracelets of gummies. And then he flies to China and he tries to attack. No, that's that's an idiot move. You did not give the money to Trax. This guy, he called him a customer. That means he's already bought jewelry from Trax in the past. What he did was he wanted to find the same jewelry that he could get from Trax, except used or for cheaper. And I think this other jeweler claims to be a TraxNYC reseller, because people who have bought jewelry from Trax, they might have come in and pawned it or sold it, and this man bought it and he's displaying it and he's reselling it. What if they didn't come in and want to sell it to Trax? Or maybe Trax didn't want to buy the piece back, so they sold it to someone else. This person is like, well, I'm reselling actual custom Trax jewelry, so I'm a custom Trax reseller. This person bought it under that assumption, checked it, didn't like it, brought it to Trax, and this was Trax's excuse to get some publicity and to blow up. I'm literally telling you how this works. We can argue about it. I don't mind going back and forth, but I'm telling you how this works. The Trax had no business going to these people, and the customer did not buy this from Trax. So it wasn't Trax's responsibility to give him a refund. The name part doesn't matter. Who did you give the money to? You didn't give it to Trax. You know Trax. Why you didn't give it to him directly? Oh, you went around him. You thought he was dealing with one of his cousins or friends. No, you were trying to get it. You were trying to be slick. You were trying to go behind my back and get it for a little bit cheaper. And you got beat. We call that getting your food ate. You want to go around me and play games? Okay, they're going to eat your food. You have to go in the right order. The man knew what he was doing, and he lost a little bit. But now he's up, and Trax is super up, because now he's going to be known as Jeweler of the Millennium. The only other jeweler that I've ever seen that is as public as Trax is the little Asian guy, Johnny Dang, that doesn't speak much English, out of Houston. That's the only other jeweler that I can even name, because, I mean, what other jewelers are really out there? Jacob the jeweler did what he went to prison for how many years? I mean, there's not a lot of jewelers even around anymore.
Customers like lacking in knowledge of the value of diamonds, although I think Diamonds are pretty much as worthless as a common rock in a lake. But hey, obviously the market dictates the price of literally anything, right? So hey, it's up to the consumers. But I understand why he's mad. Imagine someone else using your brand, your image, something you've built up for well over a decade just to scam one of your clients, which could end up destroying your entire business, losing millions in credibility, because now people are going to think that you're a scammer when in reality you didn't scam anyone, which is crazy. I would sue this guy Akay Diamonds, Akay Diamonds, or whatever his name is.
I'm going to sue you out of existence.
And here is Trax sitting down with the client, showing proof and receipts about the scam.
So this is the receipt from this disgusting company that pretends to be.
Wait a minute. Didn't somebody just say that I don't know the whole story? What does the fucking receipt say? Does the receipt say TraxNYC? No. It says Akay Diamonds. If you pay for something and you get a receipt that says Akay Diamonds, how are you now claiming that the person that was paid was impersonating you? I'm sorry, all right? There's no way some of you people in the chat can be, there's no way you can confuse this. Look at the screen. It says Akay Diamonds, GIA certified diamonds, and it has the exact address of where he's at. GIA gemologist. Where do you see that is? This is the receipt. Trax's receipt says Trax Diamonds NYC on it. It says Trax NYC on his receipt. This receipt says Akay Diamonds. Why would you think you're dealing with Trax NYC if you literally went to a place called Akay Diamonds and the receipt doesn't say Trax NYC? When he came to Trax and said, hey, I got one of your chains here and it's not right, Trax should have said, well, show me the receipt. He could have easily just looked at the receipt and said, yeah, brother, this is you got your grievances with Akay Diamonds. You didn't buy this from me. You didn't buy this from me. I'm sorry, it doesn't get much more simple. This is the smoking gun right there. So let's go ahead and let's read through the chat, right? And let's see who can explain why the receipt says Akay Diamonds, but you guys are so sure that the receipt, you're reading, what you're seeing is Trax NYC. I'm reading Akay Diamonds. Which one of us is correct about what's on this receipt? Let's I'll give you guys some Jeopardy. Dun, 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 dun. There's no more research to see. The receipt is right here. Read the receipt. Read the receipt. Akay Diamonds. Trax gave the man a refund for a transaction that he was not liable for. His name is not even on the receipt. The customer's a grown ass adult man. You're not reading the receipt. You don't know who you're buying something that expensive from. You're just passing out $20,000 to random people and just hope. You knew this wasn't Trax. You were trying to be slick and go behind my back. But Trax, instead of taking out his frustration on the customer who tried to snake him, he's going to the other jeweler because he's saying, you told them this is me, this is from. They don't even look like you. They don't look shit like you. This man knows what you look like. We all do. Everyone knows who Trax is if you're a jewelry person. Like, dude, you guys are giving the customer, you guys are pretending like he's like some kind of like mental midget or some kind of retard or something. The customer knew who he bought this from. He knew he didn't buy it from Trax NYC. And I bet you Trax literally probably reached out to the customer, told him to come in, and he staged all of this, knowing that there was going to be so much muddy water. By the time someone like me broke this video down, the publicity would already be out there and it'd be too late to stop this avalanche of positive publicity for Trax. I mean, if I'm wrong, please tell me where I'm wrong. But I see Akay Diamonds on the receipt. Some of you guys are seeing Trax NYC. Who sees Akay Diamonds and who sees Trax NYC? 1 for Akay Diamonds, 2 for Trax. Okay, so everyone only sees, because I'm on 8 platforms right now, so I'm looking through all the different chats. But people are only pressing 1. No one sees. So what are you guys arguing me about? If you're looking at the receipt and you don't see NYC Trax, then what do you then why are you arguing me about Trax not being responsible for this? And Trax's name is not even on the receipt. Thanks you, Coach. Hey, Coach is even here too. I appreciate you tuning in. Trax's name is not on the receipt. Trax is not liable. Trax staged this whole thing. He took over the argument while the men were just standing there, and he provoked this so that they could take the bait and he can come out as the victim. He did it masterfully, to be honest. He did a really good job.
Me says they're TraxNYC, sells my customer.
You can't say you're TraxNYC if your fucking receipt says Akay Diamonds on it. That's a lie. I'm looking at the receipt. It does not say TraxNYC on the receipt. It doesn't. You're lying. He's lying about it.
A bracelet rips him off on the gold. Shit, they're saying it's 14 karat gold. Well, we're going to test this bracelet right now.
Bro, listen. If they told him it was one amount of gold versus another, Trax, not saying that that's right for them to do, but that's between him and the person who sold it to him. You don't have a dog in this fight. That's between the customer and him. You can't be the jewelry Superman and go around and be doing diamond and jewelry tests on everyone and telling them to go back and confront the person they buy it from. People buy stuff for different prices and they buy what they like. They buy what looks good. This is him actually penny pinching, and you can't really do that's not your place. Now, if you are buying jewelry and you want to make sure you're not getting scammed and you want to test it and all that, that's cool. But if there's oversight on the end of the customer, they don't do their due diligence. They don't even care about it until later. It's not up to you to come in and now want to go confront every jeweler that you feel are charging too much for the same products that you're selling. That's not your place.
Test. 10 karat gold. So did they say they were TraxNYC?
Yeah, he tried to portray.
He didn't fucking say it. I knew this is why he didn't want this piece of shit customer to talk. Well, did he say his track? Well, he tried to portray. What the fuck does that mean? Did he say I am TraxNYC or did he not? I don't give a fuck about what he's trying to portray. I don't care about, well, he set a mood in the room. It reminded me of the mood at the Trax place. And the same lavender air freshener you use, they have it at his place too. So the atmosphere was like Trax, and it portrayed a Trax-like environment. Motherfucker, does the receipt say TraxNYC or not? Did he tell you I am TraxNYC? The other guy's a fraud. You knew the difference between the two. Listen to what he's saying. This is a grown-ass man that had 20-something thousand to throw at a jeweler. Let him speak.
Did they say they were TraxNYC?
Yeah, he tried to portray. He tried to sell one of your products. He said that he ran out.
Right.
One of your rings
you
that you purchased.
Right. That we sell. So you came with a picture of TraxNYC.
Yep. Opened up the website for him.
And then he said he ran out, even though he has nothing to fucking do with me other than to steal my fucking customers all day long.
Oh, so he didn't steal, bro. He's saying they stole his customer. He's calling him a thief, not because of the jewelry, not because of the money, not because of the weight of the gold or the weight of the whatever the fuck. He's saying he's a thief because he stole his customer. But I guarantee you this. I guarantee you they didn't cold call this fucking customer. I bet you the customer called Akay Diamonds, who works close to Trax. They all work in that same district in New York. And he was trying to find Trax pieces for cheaper than Trax is selling them. He was trying to go around Trax 100% guaranteed. That's why he's not like, yeah, the dude told me straight up, I'm Trax. I'm TraxNYC. No, he said he ran out of the rings that Trax that he said he bought. Like he said, I bought a ring from Trax, but I sold out. People do that. If somebody wants to buy jewelry from another jeweler and resell it, that's their business. You don't get to come and take back your piece. You sold it. I don't know if any of you guys ever done business before, but that's not how it works. We're going to go ahead and we're going to bring this back. I'm telling you, all this stuff that Trax did was staged, unnecessary, and exaggerated.
Did they say they were TraxNYC?
Yeah, he tried to portray. He tried to sell one of your products. He said that he ran out.
Right.
One of your rings that you purchased.
Right. That you.
He said he ran out of one of your rings. So he doesn't say he sells all Trax and stuff. He said, I have one of his rings. How does me having one ring from somebody, why would that make you want to buy a bracelet from me that you think belongs to another jeweler around the corner that's going to be, I don't know, 20% more expensive? It's because you were trying to go around Trax and he got busted. And now that's why he's so nervous and reluctant to really talk about this, because he's standing on bullshit, but he's being coached through this by Trax himself. Look, for those who just got here, let's go ahead one more time. Let's watch this. Watch it again in slow motion. Look at the man's face and body language. He's as believable as the guy that I don't know. He doesn't seem like he's telling the truth to me. But you be the judge.
Yeah, he tried to portray. He tried to sell one of your products. He said that he ran out.
Right.
Your rings
you
purchased.
Right. That you so that we sell. So you came with a picture of TraxNYC.
Yep. Opened up the website for.
And then
look at Trax. He just took over the conversation. And he said, I opened up the website. So what he's saying is that you stole my customer. What the customer did was he showed this other jeweler a picture of a piece of jewelry that was on Trax's website. He wanted something that looked just like it, but just a little bit cheaper from another jeweler. Whose fault is that? It looks like one of Trax's pieces, but you're not buying it from Trax. Whose fault is that? What were you trying to do? You were trying to get it cheaper. You're trying to go around Trax. Trax's anger and frustration is misguided. It's misdirected. These other people are doing business. This other guy behind you is being slick, and you just rewarded him for his slickness. So yeah, you basically just bought all this publicity for $21,000, basically.
he said he ran out, even though he has nothing to fucking do with me other than to steal my fucking customers all day long. These rats have done this over and over and over again, and I tolerated it. And now they fucked them over on the carrot as well. Yo, Akay, you are fucking thieves, bro.
Man,
They're thieves for stealing his customer. They are your competition. They are not your friends. You guys are all working in those jewelry lobbies in these buildings. You guys are not friends. You guys are competitors. You guys are not friends. And because a customer goes to one guy instead of back to you, your loyal customer, if another jeweler can pull them away from you, then it's not stealing the customer. The customer just chose up on another jeweler. And now after the fact, oh, you could have sold them this much. You told him it was 10, but it was really 14. Bro, that's a grievance between the customer and the jeweler he bought it from. Trax is not involved. He's not on the receipt. He's not liable. That's between the customer. The customer has the receipt, and it's extremely legible. It doesn't say TraxNYC on one fucking line on that receipt. The only reason why you're thinking that he said something about Trax is because this guy who's extremely shady and off-putting, that's trying to tell the story to Trax, because he said so. But where's the documentation? It's not written down anywhere. It's not on the receipt. It's not on anything that, oh yeah, I portrayed this as being a Trax bracelet. Never. The customer is the only person saying, well, he portrayed that he was Trax. He didn't portray shit. What's on the receipt? Where does it say I bought a Trax bracelet? It doesn't. We looked at the receipt. You're wrong, Miami.
Say, first of all, Guys, stop wasting so much money on depreciating assets such as diamonds. Literally, bro could have took that $21,000 and invested into the stock market. You know, buy low, sell high, something safe. Why are you buying some ugly ass bracelet that doesn't even look good? I'm gonna be honest, man. Most of these diamond jewelries, these bracelets.
My point is that if you have a grievance with the person you bought your jewelry from, you go to them directly. A third party like Trax has no dog in the fight. Even if the customer says, well, they told me they were you. How do you know that's even true? Look at the receipt that the bracelet came with the receipt. Does it say TraxNYC on the receipt? Now that's how you can say you're stealing from me, you're a crook, because they make a receipt and they print your name on it as if you're the one who ripped off this customer and took their money. That's how you can say they're scamming and that they're cheating the customer. On the receipt, it says their name, their business, the jewelry. It doesn't say shit about Trax on there. So you're dead wrong, Miami.
These necklaces, they just look not classy to me. I get it. Everybody has their own style or whatever. You could do whatever you want with your money.
It doesn't matter. 1410. If you don't like the weight or if something's off, you as a customer, you go back to the jeweler directly. You don't involve a third party and ask a third party to give you a refund for the money that you lost thinking that you were getting something else. And then that third party goes after the jeweler. No, that's between you and the jeweler. What the hell's that got to do with this guy? Excuse me, if this guy wants to give you money for that bracelet, that's between you and him, but you can't come back to me and say, yeah, now you owe me a refund. No, the fuck I don't. We didn't do any business. I made an agreement with this guy. We wrote everything down. Any legal grievances are going to be between the customer and the business. This third-party person who wants to give you money, that's on his own free will. Like he said, I'm voluntarily giving this guy a $21,000 refund that he wasn't owed from you. He didn't buy anything from you. He has the receipt and your name's nowhere on it. You're just taking his word for it that they said, yeah, it's something about Trax. That doesn't mean they're impersonating you, asshole. Look at the receipt. It doesn't even say your name on there. What a joke.
But I'm just saying, bro, I'm tired of people getting finessed on multiple fronts, from diamonds that they believe are rare, from depreciating bust downs that have no value in 5 years, to scammers taxing for the feature on things that aren't really the carat of diamond that they want or the weight of gold that they advertise. It's just sad. Additionally, for anybody watching this video right now, because I know, I get a decent amount of views, Akay Diamonds is the place. This is the place on Akay Diamonds, Google. If you've ever had a similar experience to them, right? They're a real brand. I don't think this is a skit, because I don't think anybody would want their business being destroyed. Leave them a review, because we're tired of scammers. Scammers are horrible. I hate scammers. And they are getting ratioed right now. Holy shit. Looking at these comments, yeah, fuck them. Their business deserves to fail. Akay Diamonds. We do not tolerate scammers anymore. You. And I just gotta commend TraxNYC, or whatever his real name is. Apparently it's Maksud Agadjani, but he goes by Max. That's his nickname. Shout out to you, bro. I respect business owners like you, people with a fan base, a viewer base, a clientele. You standing up for people, man, that is what I want to do. Bitch! When I first saw this, I thought this may have been a skit, because this reaction right here is just outlandish as hell. It reminds me of the Leonardo DiCaprio, I believe, in The Wolf of Wall Street, bro. I mean, tell me I'm lying, bro. And the fact that this man was so calm, it's just like, damn, have you no shame?
Where's my money? I got this bracelet. Where's my fucking money? What are you gonna do, bitch? What are you gonna do? Doc, motherfucker, you say VVF? I3, 14K, and you're using my name.
His name is nowhere on the receipt. He's solely taking the customer's word for it that the customer mentioned his name during the transaction. Never once is there any evidence or proof that he misrepresented himself as being Trax. When we hear Trax saying this to this guy, we're thinking to ourselves, oh yeah, he cloned the website and he said, I'm TraxNYC. Come to me. Don't go to that guy. That guy's a scammer. I'm actually the real Trax. You go to him, you give him your money, he sells you the Trax jewelry, and you're just none the wiser because you don't know what Trax looks like. Then you find out later he's not really Trax, and the receipt is fake and it had a fake logo and a fake brand name on there. That's not the case. That's not the case. They literally, with transparency, he showed us the receipt. Trax's name is not on the receipt. I'm technically right. I'm legally right. Why do you think this is not going to court about that? This is going to court about the fight that ensued after and the assault. They're not going to court about this situation. This was a publicity stunt. The fact that you don't see that is probably why when you saw that Asian guy fall over back in 2020, you put on a mask, you sheltered in place, and the first chance you got, you took an irreversible experimental procedure in your body that's giving you cancer and blood clots and heart attacks now. I'm saying that to say you're gullible. You're easily fooled. You're too emotional. You're not looking at the facts. The details are right there. We sat on the receipt. It doesn't say TraxNYC on the receipt. Nobody misrepresented themselves or impersonated Trax. He's lying. Or the customer's lying to him and he's just believing it and just running full steam ahead. But I think he even knows that customer is lying, that fucking slimy ass customer. He was trying to stab Trax in the back and get a good deal, which is what he should do. You might want to get a better price. But if you found out that, you didn't get the best deal that you wanted, then you go back to that jeweler. But if all sales are final, what's your recourse? Now I'm going to go and tell Trax, oh yeah, this guy told me that this was your bracelet. And Trax is going to make a big deal about it and give you a full refund. That guy didn't deserve a full refund. He didn't buy nothing from Trax. And this guy that he's talking to did not impersonate Trax because there's no record of it. We just looked at the receipt. Everything you're coming up with, Miami, is based on emotion. I'm only going off of the evidence presented, which is not the story, but the paperwork. Paperwork. The receipt is the paperwork. It doesn't say Trax's name on the receipt. He's bringing up VVS's and ounces. Man, well, I thought you said that they impersonated you and said they're using your name. They didn't. They didn't. That's not what happened.
You did.
Bro, I like how the tip of their nose is almost touched. But that's crazy. VVS i3 14K is what he sold. And the client actually received a 9-carat diamond bracelet that is nowhere near what he initially purchased. And here, as you can see, our customers in the back, unless he hired a whole goddamn acting crew, bro, with like side characters and everything, and planned this whole thing to destroy this man's legitimate business, Akay Diamonds. I do not think this is fake. And this is crazy, man. We need to start calling out more scammers like this. It'll make society better.
Yeah, 6447.
Remember, he's calling him a thief because he said they stole his customer. That means this was already his customer before this transaction. Bro, the customer, they didn't steal him. The customer called them. Trax, they didn't cold call your customer. You weren't getting some llama choom. You weren't sitting there with eating a shawarma one day. And one of these guys sneaks by, grabs a black book out of your pocket, like Spy versus Spy, goes like this, goes home, and literally starts calling all the customers in your little black book. And then was like, yeah, come on in. I got a bracelet for you. It's me, Trax. It's got a new number. That's not what happened. The customer called AK Jewelers. They didn't cold call the customer. How did the customer, riddle me this, Miami. How did the customer get in touch with AK Jewelers if they were trying to reach Trax? Somebody cue the Jeopardy music again. Dun, 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 dun. Nobody has an answer. You don't have an answer, Miami? How did the customer contact AK Jewelers if they were trying to contact TraxNYC? How did that happen? If the jeweler didn't cold call the customer just randomly, then how did the customer, how they get in touch with each other? Well, it's because the customer reached out to them. The customer's an adult. He knew what he was doing. He didn't call Trax. He actually went to see Trax in person. He called AK Jewelers and he went to them as well. Hey, I'm just asking you. If you want to come up here and explain that, if you want to tell me how they were able to get in touch with each other, if you're going to explain to me that the customer did not reach out to AK Jewelers, if you have an explanation on how AK Jewelers was able to steal this customer from Trax, I'm all ears. I'll drop you a phone number and a link, and you can come up here and you can explain it. If you're tired of typing, I'm open to that. Please. If you're shy, you don't really have an answer, then I understand. You don't have to. He did not stand up for him. This was a marketing technique. This was a staged event. This was not a organic grievance. This had nothing to do with him. This was staged for publicity. I don't know if you've heard the term, might be novice to you, but it's called a publicity stunt. Have you ever heard of a publicity stunt? This was a well-crafted, impulsive publicity stunt. The other guys were not in on it. And I haven't seen anybody tell me, okay, I'll drop you the link. Here you go. And you can come up here and we can talk about it. Let's go. There we go. Come on up. Let me know when you're in the back room. But stop with you talking down first. Well, I don't know what that means. What does that? What does that mean? But stop with you talking down firstly. I don't know what that means. I don't know how to talk. I don't know how to talk in direction. I'm straightforward. So if you're going to be emotional, then probably this isn't the best situation. But if you want to be logical and you want to have a conversation, if you can explain to me how this customer was able to speak to AK Jewelers instead of TraxNYC, because why did he go to AK? Why didn't he just go to Trax? If you can clear that up for me, if you have some insider information, I'm all ears and would love to hear it. You would just click the link. You would go into the back room and then just type in the comments that I'm here. I'm in the backstage, and then I can bring you to the front and we can have this conversation. But I want to see if anybody can tell me, how did the customer contact AK Jewelers if they were trying to reach Trax? Now, as far as I can tell, it's because they wanted to. They weren't trying to reach Trax at first. They were trying to go around Trax. They wanted pre-owned, resold Trax jewelry at a discount. And the other guy apparently sold him something that wasn't the same quality, but that didn't stop him from buying it because it looked good. Only certain people are going to care about the carats and the weight and how many grams. Other people are buying this shit because of how it looks. Does it flash on your arm? When you get out the car, are the girls going to turn around and look twice at your wrist? Are they going to look at your neck? Does it bling? Does it blow? That's what people care about. They're not going to be sitting there, wait a minute, look at the texture and the grams. There's how many grams are in here? Nobody's asking all that. Some people care, but a lot of people don't. They care about how it looks. If the grams were off and the weight was wrong, why didn't he get it tested immediately before he bought it? Why did he buy it in the first place? And why did he buy it from AK Jewelers instead of from Trax? When he saw that Trax's name wasn't on the receipt and Trax's name wasn't the person he was talking to, wasn't Trax, because Trax sells his own jewelry. He has a staff, but this guy never claimed to be on his staff. Why didn't he deal with him directly? The $22K, that's not the problem. The problem was he said that he stole his customer. How did he steal your customer? We just watched the whole video in detail. He said they're thieves. They stole my customer. He didn't say they stole jewelry from me or they stole my designs. He said they stole my customer. They're thieves. You guys, you have to listen to what these people are saying. You have to remove emotion and just listen to what they're saying. They're telling the story. He said they're thieves because they stole my customer, not because of the price discrepancy. If different jewelers can charge different prices for the same exact jewelry, it's up to the jeweler. They set their own prices. It's up to you if you want to look up what the value of gold is at this moment and say, hey, you're charging me too much or you're not charging me enough. And it's up to you as the customer to negotiate. But if you're going to let yourself get overcharged and because it looks good, You can't come back and pretend that's a grievance and go to another jeweler and say, oh, go defend me. Defend me against what, bro? You're grown. You chose to buy that. What are we talking about here? Yes, I would pay $8 for a Twinkie. It depends on the location. Shit, when I'm at the airport, I paid $20, bro. I paid for where was I at? I was at an airport in New York a month ago, and I was looking to buy a phone charger, just a C-type, just the cord only, no base. They were charging $44 just for the C-type cord, 6 feet long, at the airport. But if I went outside the airport to the CVS, they were only charging $11 for the same cord. But inside the airport, because of the location and because of who I'm buying it from and the situation where you're pretty much stuck in the airport, it was $44. But then when I landed in Panama, the same cord was only $6. So you don't get to set the price for everybody. Everybody can decide what they're going to charge. It's up to the customer to determine what they're willing to pay. Does that make sense? The invite link works. We had a guest on earlier. But they didn't say they were VVS, bro. Listen, that's between the customer and the jeweler. That's it. It's between the customer and the jeweler. All these different terms and things we're adding, you are the buyer. If you want it to be VVS and be this and be that, then check it all before you buy it. You don't buy it and then later on show it to another jeweler and he says, oh man, I would have gave you a better deal. And you're like, well, shit, I want to take this back and get it cheaper over here. That's not how it works. And jewelers know that you might do that. So they know they say all sales are final. This is ironclad. If you buy it, it's yours. That's it. We'll buy it back from you, but we're not going to buy it from you for what we paid for. We're going to offer you a pawn shop price. You can't do that. That's like me taking a burger from McDonald's and I'm halfway done eating it. I drive by Jack in the Box and the dude at Jack in the Box says, hey, bro, we selling burgers for half the price of that. And we have your burger and we have more lettuce. And then I'm like looking at my burger like, bro, they just robbed me at McDonald's because I should have got this burger for the same. Because you're saying this is Angus, but, and then here I am giving my burger to Jack at Jack in the Box and Jack gives me $5 and he goes to McDonald's and says, where's my fucking money, bitch? I got this burger. And he starts slapping the burger on the counter at McDonald's. Nigga, you ain't buy no burger from me. You bought it from over there. The customer bought it from us. You didn't buy anything from us. It's not you, bro. This analogy, it doesn't get any more simple than this. You can't confuse it or pretend or put extras on. It's all the same. The small details are irrelevant. Nobody was impersonating Trax. This was a stage publicity stunt. And technically, Trax is in the wrong for doing it. No, I guess I am siding with AK. Well, actually, no. AK Jewelers, as of now, has not made a statement. I'm siding with the receipts. I'm siding with what's in black and white. I'm not making an emotional plea. What I'm doing is this. I'm looking at what Trax is saying. I'm looking at what the customer said, and I'm looking at the receipt. That's it. That's all. That's that. AK Jewelers has not made a statement in any direction. The only thing they did was spit on Trax and told them to hold on, and then they called security to get them out of there. That's it. They haven't said anything either in any direction. I'm going off of the paperwork. I don't know what you guys are going off of. I'm going off of what was said and what was shown. If there's anything that I'm missing, please inform me. I'm happy. And Miami didn't join. Hello from Dublin, Ireland. How are you guys doing? Hey, you guys are over there. I heard you fighting the good fight. You got McGregor fighting with you. You want to take your country back. One step at a time and you'll have it. One day Ireland will be free again. It's crazy. You guys have been fighting for thousands of years for your homeland. It finally becomes stabilized, and then they invade you with hordes of Muslims and people from Northern Africa, and then they expect you to just assimilate as they push you out, and they try to change what the face of what it means to be Irish even is. And I'm watching all this happen. I've actually been to Edmonton. I've been to Ireland before. I've been to Scotland before. Because I used to live in Europe. When I lived in Germany, I lived in France, I lived in Amsterdam. So I lived in Scandinavia. So I've been there. And I've watched how much it's changed since, because I lived there like 2016, 2017. So I've seen it change a lot. So I'm proud because I've been seeing how you guys are pushing back and fighting back. So good for you guys. Yes, spitting on him sealed his fate. That's assault. See, Trax, his goal was to provoke them. The first time he went there, they didn't take the bait. So they pushed him out of the building. He returns, and then that's when he got spit on. That's when he got spit on. Oh, okay, we got the guest here. Let's bring him up. Let's see here. This is Miami. Come on up, brother. Miami, you there? Miami, you there? Hello? Okay. I can't hear you, but you're not saying anything. We can see you.
Okay, you can see me?
Yes,
Can you
actually, I'll bring you on the stage. There you go. Hey, how you doing?
Listen, I can't see you, but
Oh yeah, we can see you. Are you there? That seems like your phone's freezing. Okay. Never mind. I'll take you backstage. Let me know whenever you're ready. See, one thing about me, I'm never going to shy away from a good conversation, especially when I have a strong point. Yeah, that means so. Yes, spitting on Trax is assault, but it's a misdemeanor assault. They were hauled out of there and they were arrested because they're saying not only just was he spitting, but they're saying that their other friend grabbed his chain and was trying to suffocate him and choke him with his own chain. And then he has all the bruises on his neck, and he went to the hospital and he was able to file a police report. And the police literally went back with him within this, I think it's the same day. And he pointed out all three of the guys that he was fighting with that attacked him, which they took the bait. They should have did what he did and just yelled and screamed and did not touch. But he knew they were going to take the bait, and they didn't take it the first time. They took it when he returned. They should have waited for him to hit them first, but he never did. So that's just so that's what happened to him. Let's see here.
Owns this. I gotta swear, this man.
Let's watch one more time.
So they're going to be giving you $1,000 on top. Here's $22,000 for your fucking trouble. These fucking bum.
Did you see the smile on this guy's face when he got his money?
$22,000 for your fucking. Giving you $1,000 on top. Here's $22,000.
Look at that guy. He just got over on a man who he thinks is a scammer. I don't care what anybody thinks. Everyone thinks that people who sell jewelry are scammers. But what does it matter? You still need to buy jewelry sometimes. So you're going to go to a jeweler. A jeweler can say one day they can say we're going to charge this much for a bracelet. The wind can blow in a different direction tomorrow, and they're going to want to charge a different amount for the same bracelet or a chain or whatever. That's why I don't wear jewelry or buy jewelry anymore, because it's pointless and it doesn't always retain its value. One person might say it's worth one amount. You take it to a pawn shop or to another person, they can say, nah, that's not it. And if somebody else is going to say it is, I mean, it's up to the eye of the beholder. If he bought it, it's because he liked it. Does he even look like the type of guy that wears a ton of jewelry? Not in my opinion. But even he is shocked that Trax is willing to give him that much money back based off of a story. This is my issue with Trax. He didn't go to AK Jewelers and ask what's going on with this. I have your receipt here. This guy said that you said that you're Trax New York City, and this is the bracelet. What's going on? Maybe AK would have said, no, look at the receipt. It doesn't say anything about Trax on here. We never told him that we're TraxNYC. He's scamming you. If this customer has zero proof that he can show that these people were impersonating Trax, well, then Trax would owe AK Jewelers an apology. What evidence does this customer have that these people were impersonating Trax? Remember, this whole thing is because Trax said they're using my name. Where's the proof? The man literally called AK Jewelers. It's on the fucking receipt. There is no other receipt that says anything that is contradictory to that. There's nothing else. Let's see if we can find. Watch, look, this is right here. It's not on the receipt. It's not on the receipt. So that's where a lot of this argument goes. We don't have, no one's looking at the receipt. I'll bring it up one more time. There we go. AK Jewelers.
Disgusting.
AK Diamonds. GIA certified diamonds. Where on this receipt does it show that he is impersonating himself as Trax Jewelers or TraxNYC and using Trax name? Again, I will wait. Where on this receipt does it show that he's using, that this jeweler, this is the jeweler's receipt, where does it show that this jeweler is impersonating TraxNYC? It doesn't. It doesn't. So that's case closed. Trax saw the receipt. He saw they didn't impersonate him, but he's going off of the word of this customer because he was looking for an excuse to stage a publicity stunt. And that's just the bottom line. So if somebody has any contradictory facts or they want to share, I'm all ears. But if not, I just cracked this whole case. And in the coming weeks, you guys will see when this comes out. I'm going to be 100% right about this. I'm pretty right about a lot of things. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll be back on live in about 20 minutes and we'll go ahead and I didn't see your lips even moving. I just saw your face and I saw your camera, moving around. But I'm going to start another stream in about 20 minutes with another topic. If you guys please leave comments about this one and we'll continue to talk about it, and I'll bring you back up Miami if you don't mind joining in the next live. I'll see you guys again shortly. America first and America only. Cheers.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.